Portrayed in many different ways, Marina Warner uncovers the feminine archetype and attempts to find out what really happened after the ball. And the series starts with Jean Genet's first ever television interview. Despite having written such acclaimed plays as The Balcony and The Maids, he's been systematically shunned by the political and literary establishments in his native France. A new season of Arena starting this Tuesday at 10 on BBC2. On BBC1 now, there's a magical treasure hunt as Annika Wright helps a studio audience find a valuable object secreted somewhere in England by that crafty conjurer, Paul Daniels. This is BBC2, and now in a simultaneous broadcast with Radio 3 in stereo, we present Benjamin Britten's comic opera, Albert Herring. This is the Glyndebourne production directed by Peter Hall, the director of the National Theatre, who now introduces the programme. Starting tomorrow on BBC2, there's the first of a new series in which the Cuban virtuoso pianist George Bollett discusses and rehearses Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2. The first movement receives his attention tomorrow afternoon at 4:35 in Rachmaninoff Masterclass. And just to mention about next Saturday evening here on 2, when at 8:25 the NHK Symphony Orchestra from Japan plays Beethoven's 7th Symphony in a concert recorded last month at the General Assembly Hall in New York, celebrating the 40th anniversary of United Nations Day. Also in East Plays West at the UN, there's a performance of Bach's Concerto in D minor for 2 violins and string orchestra with Yehudi Menuhin and Jin Lee. Starting tomorrow on BBC2, a new season of Australian cinema with adventure in A Dangerous Summer. In Heatwave, an architect becomes involved in a corrupt property development.
Eden's a model. It's very expensive. But the real essence of the design can be duplicated in 1,000 much more simple ways that everyone can afford.
For a man who thinks he knows all the answers, you're remarkably naive.
While Strikebound relives the struggles of a mining community in the 1930s.
You've sacrificed the entire working class struggle for 34 and 6 and a bundle of bloody clothes.
The timberlands of New South Wales are the setting for The Winds of Jarrah. An English girl takes a job as a children's governess. And the season starts with We of the Never Never, a story of the hardship endured by a newly married woman as she comes to terms with life in the outback. A new season of Australian cinema starts tomorrow at 9:35 on BBC2. The Saturday movie classic just starting on BBC1 stars Paul Newman as Cool Hand Luke, a prisoner sentenced to 2 years with the Southern Chain Gang, and who soon becomes a hero amongst the other convicts for his toughness and disrespect for the system. And we here on BBC2 also end our evening by settling down to the flickerings in the American film theatre. Starring Maximilian Schell as a wealthy property dealer suffering from a persecution complex, we present The Man in the Glass Booth.